Hello there everyone, Ash and Flash here, and welcome on into my spoiler review for Agatha All Along. If you don't know how these videos work, we're going to go non-spoilers, spoilers, and then go into Lego talk. What did Lego do, and what could they do in the future? So let's go ahead and let's get started. So, non-spoilers, let's just talk about my perception going into this. I was not looking forward to it, if I'm being honest. I was just like, I didn't understand. I understood the hype for Agatha, like just the character, but it just never made sense to me why she would be getting her own show. I didn't find her that interesting, or like, I just felt like I was just bombarded by everyone freaking out over her from WandaVision, that I was just like, okay, she's fine, I guess. Oh, she's getting a show. Okay. And then, I don't know, like, I had zero expectations going into the show. And I think that definitely helped for sure. I think it's doing very well, obviously, just viewership-wise, and for the budget that it had. Like, it's really, really impressive. And I think that this is a really big hit for them. And I am impressed by how it fits in really well with, like, the story going forward. And I'm excited to talk about that towards the end. But, yeah, there are some really, like, cool moments, and I really enjoyed a lot of the show for sure as a whole, but there are some moments that, like, I absolutely hated, but we'll talk about that in spoilers, I guess. But overall, I really did enjoy it, and I'm glad that we do have some sort of Lego representation for the show in a way. But anyways, let's go ahead, let's talk spoilers. So first thing I want to say for spoilers is just, oh my goodness, people were unrelenting with this show in terms of just posting things without warning or spoilers, like seconds after it aired. Like, people are already, like, posting full images of, like, the final shot of this episode, or people posting the Funko Pops and just, like, blatantly showing the names. Like, all you had to do was cover it up. Obviously, specifically more for Rio than anything else, but every once in a while, people are really annoying when it comes to posting spoilers, and this was definitely one of those that if you're not watching it the second it premieres, which is really tough to do when it's premiering at the time that it does, because it's not like the regular shows that are really, really late at night that, okay, you know, you can sort of avoid going on the internet or avoid going on socials, but it's like just evening, and I just then can't do anything unless I'm watching the show. What didn't I like? Well, I really thoroughly hated that first episode. It had a 2-episode premiere, and I really hated it so much, mostly because of her annoying cop accent, voice overacting, that I just didn't watch the second episode that day. Like, I was like, nope, I need to take a bit of a break here from this, because I really couldn't stomach it. And then I watched episode 2. I was like, oh, that was actually really good. And then episode 3 was actually really good. And as we kept going, I was like, okay, this is really interesting. And I could sort of see where things were going in terms of, like, okay, we're probably, I think I literally, I don't know if I tweeted this or I said it to people, but I was like, okay, guarantee you, people are going to keep dying as we go through the road. And then at the end, she's going to have to choose, to save Billy. Again, contrasting it with Nikki, is what we thought at the time, was that she gave up Nikki for power, and that she would have to give up and choose this time between Billy and power, which in a way she does do in the finale, choosing to give up her life there for him. But I don't know, I feel like I enjoyed, again, sort of like WandaVision, I enjoyed a lot of the other characters more than I liked Agatha. I don't know, I don't think the character resonates with me. I find her a bit annoying, personally. But I also think that that's who the character is and is trying to be. But yeah, I really came to like all of the other characters that were coming along on the journey. Like, Mrs. Hart was obviously a standout, and specifically, yeah, I think they all had their moments. And that's something that I really like, is that sort of, I guess, the episodes that they died or did something really important, like with Alice or Lilia, and then, even Jen in like the 8th episode. I just think that it made for a very good sort of format for the series, which I thought was really good, that they were giving each of the characters some time to shine on their own, and I don't know, Agatha sort of taking a back seat is at least the way that it felt in some of those episodes. But obviously, I think the other standout was Wiccan. I think that Billy was just really, really great, and I really enjoyed, I think, the performance. I think that obviously that final costume, and I enjoyed the story of that and just the sort of mystery around that of how he came about. And I think it's interesting that, you know, he's sort of possessing this body like a vessel as someone is about to die, and then I guess the same thing's being done to Tommy here that we saw at the end. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting for sure. The other person I didn't talk about was Death. I think obviously Aubrey Plaza is just incredible. I really recommend checking her out in Legion, another Marvel show. I think she did a phenomenal job there too. But I think she was also for sure another standout, and design-wise for Death, like, it was just very, very creepy. I do wish that there was, I don't know, I go back and forth with thinking this, if there was some sort of connection to Thanos or not, but it would be interesting if, like, in Secret Wars or something, we see some variant of the two of them together. I think would be kind of cool, like a comic book version of Thanos courting. And just going back to the Avengers, the lines of to challenge them is to court death. Like, again, you know, they had teased that way back when, so it would have been cool if it meant something. But anyways, I don't have too much more to say about this. The final thing I'll say is, while the twists and everything were very impressive, having watched only episode 7 the day before 8 and 9, it was a bit of an overload. And I feel like they went and looked at WandaVision and they went, oh, people really loved when we did this twist of it was Agatha all along, and that she was pulling the strings of, like, showing her perspective of all of these things that had happened before. And then they just sort of tripled down and they were like, all right, Lilia, she's going to be saying all this nonsense all throughout the series, then we're going to stitch them all together in this episode. It's going to be really great. I love that. That was amazing. And then in episode 8, then they sort of had, like, the death reveal, and they had flashbacks going back to that. And then, of course, they also had to do the whole, oh my goodness, that Billy actually was the one that made the road, and that Agatha was then scamming people, and it was Agatha all along. So it just felt like a lot of, like, all right, let's just blow everyone's minds by doing even more plot twists. And it was there the whole time, and you just missed it. And I don't know. I don't mind that. It just, over the last 48 hours. Anyways, Lego talk. We do have a minifigure of Agatha, which is really cool. Whether it's from WandaVision or this, it doesn't really matter, but it's really, really great. And I love the fact that they even have the wink. I think that having Lego do sort of meme-y things like that and recreate them in certain ways, I think goes a really long way. But honestly, I don't really know about a set for this. Maybe you could have some sort of battle, but where and how? That's the thing. I'm not too sure. We don't really have a battle on the road. That would be cool for sure. But I just don't know. Like, the only thing that comes to mind is the one at her house. But would you do her house? A facade maybe? The garden? Like the greenhouse? I'm not really too sure. My mind just goes to a minifigure series 3. And getting Wiccan and Death, sort of just like the Funkos did, I think would be really cool. I think they'd be very fitting. I think visually, Wiccan would look really great, as well as just Death. So having this blue and red character and green, I think would be really, really cool. But it's inevitable, I think, for us to get a Wiccan minifigure in some form or another, I hope. If it's a Young Avengers movie or something, I think would be really cool. I think if they did a Young Avengers show, by the way, I wonder if Lego would do sets for that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I just wish that for shows that deserve sets, they'd get stuff. And then they wouldn't have to waste spots in a minifigure series. Like, I look at series 2 now, and I'm a little frustrated by a lot of the choices for sure now. Now that we know we're getting more X-Men stuff, obviously it was a huge success. We're going to get more seasons. I have no doubt we're going to get more sets, which means that 3 of those spots didn't need to be taken up by those guys. So that could have belonged to someone else. And if there's a series 3 and then they need to go back and use a spot like they did for Agatha for someone else, that could have been in series 2. You see what I'm saying? It's sort of like a snowball effect. But Anyways, everyone, what'd you think of the show? Did you enjoy it? Do you have the Agatha figure? Are you going to go out and try and get her? Because Series 2 is still on shelves. But be sure to subscribe, turn the bell notifications so you don't miss out on future MCU spoiler reviews just like this one. I do have a playlist if you want to check it out here at the end. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope you all have a great day. We'll see you all in the next one.